Normally, I'd usually ask you at the beginning about how the game went, but I think instead I want to ask you, how do you feel about the overall season? This season has been a good rebuilding year, and I just wanted your general thoughts on the overall season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously difficult to end the season the way that we did. Coming out, I mean, hats off to Columbia. There's a reason they ran through the conference the way they did in the regular season, and I expected to do the same thing with the tournament. You can't really put this year in perspective looking at just a single game anyway. So it's a situation where, having the season that we did, going 7-12, getting that 19th game for the first time in school history, and then tying it the record for school wins, beating a number of schools for the first time. You have to understand that this program's come a very, very long way, and there's a lot of people starting to take notice. John Klein congratulated me at the end of the game, for the year that we had, and frankly, it's hard to harp on a year like this one and be disappointed when we've done as many good things as we had. Sure, we want to win every game that we play in, and we want to push for the better. But this year is something that I definitely look at as being the progress that we're making. And working to continuously get better. I mean, my conversation with the girls there after the game wasn't a situation where I was like, okay, let's talk about what we did wrong, or oh, we're sad that we're done. It was just like, hey, look where we are. We've never been here before as a program, and we have to work to continue to push and build on this one. We can't just be happy with this. So I mean, overall, in a nutshell, wonderful year. Couldn't be happier for the girls in terms of the accomplishments we've made, the individual honors and so forth, and it's it's in the right direction. So I have to be happy about that.
Yeah, definitely a great year for the program. So now, usually my first question: what are your post-game thoughts? How you felt the game went, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, for the first 20 minutes, I was just like, okay, this is going to be interesting and see how things go. Or it was roughly like 15, 18 minutes in there, and it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, all right, my message to the girls to start the game was, we have nothing to lose. So we have to make sure that we're pushing and making the issue go, as good as we can and push the envelope. And, whether it was we came out with some reckless abandon or they came out slow, we had some opportunities in the early on, and I was like, okay, this is exciting. We gave up that first goal. And I think things kind of just encouragement kind of started to fall apart then at that point. And kind of like I talked to the girls, is like, we've got to find ways to stop the bleeding in those situations. Giving up one goal is nothing because we have to score once to win the game anyway. But it's one of those situations where we can't get down on each other. We've got to rally around each other. And I think there were multiple stretches of the game where it was difficult for us to rally around each other. We gave up multiple goals in just a few minutes. So, like I said, Columbia is a very, very good team. We knew kind of what to expect, and we tried to game plan the way that we thought we could defend them and play against them best. And it was a situation where for the first little bit it was kind of working, and then I think we probably ran out of gas a little bit, and that just kind of got away from us.
That's one of the questions I was going to ask you. Did you plan to come out very aggressive in the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. We set up. We had Lex Reinhardt running against one of their. Who's probably going to be Player of the Year, and Kelsey Mertz, and just trying to push things in a way that was going to make things uncomfortable for her. I thought Lex did a phenomenal job. Dealing with the kind of pressure and the tall task of marking her. And then beyond that one, really kind of pushing the issue offensively, because again, I was like, let's look to get it deep. Let's look to try to make their backs uncomfortable, and if we get an opportunity, let's try to plant it and make things better at that point. So it was a situation where, like I said, if we were going to get one, it was probably going to be early, and so we kind of came out with that men's mindset. And then when it didn't come, and then they got the first one, I think it was kind of like there was a little bit of like a letdown in spirit. And then, like I said, we know what happened the rest of the way.
Right. So, normally I'd ask, what are you doing for the next game, things like that. Your season's over. What are you looking towards, I guess, in the far future to maybe improve on?
Yeah, recruiting's a big thing right now. We've been hitting the trail already between games and doing the phone calls, emails, and meeting people and so forth there. So, we got to supplement, a good class coming in. That'll be kind of the big next step for us. Replacing some seniors like, Lex and Megan and those that are leaving us. There's a lot of heart and soul in them, and so you want to try to find the girls that are going to come in and supplement that and try to make it better. More skill, more soccer IQ, do. I'm just looking for those players. And then for those that are returning, I mean, the big thing, rest and recuperation. We're so injured right now. I had like 4 or 5 players, frankly, tonight that didn't see as many minutes as they could have because they're injured. We had a number of girls go down here and there. And, we still had Jessie kind of coming back from the ACL. So we weren't by any means 100% tonight, but I don't look at that as being an excuse. We've got to get deeper in our bench so that way, going forward, even if somebody does get hurt, next man up is still a solid and a very strong player for us. So getting deeper and kind of adding the numbers and just recovering everybody and putting in the hard work in the off season is the big thing. Because if we want to strive to this level, to be able to play with a team like that and put them under the pressure, we've got to do everything we can to get better.
And I guess my final question for you, you already touched on it a little bit, but what are, I guess just sort of concluding thoughts on just the entire season as a whole, looking back?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for the girls. Like I said, it's kind of bittersweet right now, the season coming to the end, but when you stop back and you really look back on it and take it into perspective, what these ladies accomplished has never been done before by our program. So, all the credit in the world for them, in terms of those kinds of accomplishments. And, the big thing is looking forward to next year, with everybody that's coming back is that, we've got a very good core returning, and I think that's something we can build on, supplement with the right players. So I'm excited to see what the offseason brings. It'll be some long hours and some long drives recruiting and picking up some players to replace this great group of seniors. But I think there's a lot of good things to come over the next couple of years, and it's encouraging to see the steps we've taken now, and I'm just more excited for the years to come.